Yes, we
We
are
are live.
live.
I was telling DJ I'm not ready yet.
Nobody's
Uh,
ready with this kind of stuff,
oh,
right? Yes, we are just thinking about the topic today, which is overcoming challenges.
yes.
And this is a challenge,
Yeah,
right?
this is a 90-day challenge.
That's right. So, for those of you who don't know us, my name is Lee
And
J,
I'm Melissa.
and we run an online business together. I'm running it part time. She's
I'm
doing
running
it
it.
more hours,
Yeah, part
putting
time
it
too, but
uh,
I'm more at home.
more at home, and yeah. So we provide all the tools, everything you need to be successful in terms of earning online, and and all of the tools, all the training, everything you possibly need, right?
Yes.
Um,
Yeah.
it's in your fingertips. So check us out, right? If you are here because you're just watching this on a what you call it, recorded version, right? And
Yeah.
researching us a little bit, that's fine as well. Reach
Yeah.
out to us if you have any questions. All right. But today we've been running this 90-day challenge now for 36 days.
Yeah.
Imagine,
Yeah.
right? Um, and it's an awesome feeling to be able to enter week number 6. This is our 6th week, and be able to talk about overcoming challenges, because this in itself
Is a challenge.
is a
Yeah.
challenge, right?
Yeah, being consistent with this challenge
Hmm.
is a challenge.
It's a challenge, and
Yeah.
and there's many other challenges that we can share, right? But one of the things is this challenge, because we're only able to really have a live session like this when the kids are asleep, right?
Yeah.
Especially Albert and Alice.
Yeah.
And
Except Amelia, because Amelia is still awake. Hi.
hi, and we're also a little bit under the weather. We both got cold
Yes, we just got sick this morning.
just this morning.
Yeah.
It started to show symptoms,
Yes.
and so we're like a little bit plugged, right?
Yeah.
But it's okay. It's not gonna stop us from doing a little bit of conversation with you,
Yeah.
right? And
And we just want to say thank you for those who said their good luck in our posts, because we made a post this morning that tomorrow we're going to be one of the webinar panelists of the webinar.
of the webinar that we've been inviting you for so
Yeah,
long,
we've
right?
been inviting you. That comes on Tuesdays and Thursday, but specifically for the one on tomorrow, we're gonna be one of the panelists, and so we are excited. We are a bit nervous because we
Mhm.
haven't um, been on that webinar,
Right.
and we're trying to brainstorm our journey in the last few years, and before we started the business. So it kind of got emotional for me on my side, anyways, because I'm emotional.
It's so funny, guys, because Mel was crying this morning, like early in the morning, and she never really wakes up that early, right? And I'm like, did somebody die? Because that's kind of weird, right? And then I just hugged her and asked her what's wrong, and she's like, it's actually tears of joy, right?
Yeah.
She was so happy. You explained to me, like, why were you crying? Like, I mean, I thought
Yeah.
somebody passed away and I was not notified
It's
while
just,
I was sleeping.
I was crying because of the results that we're getting in the business, right?
Right.
Like, we've been imagining all this that is happening now in ever since in the beginning when we started this,
Mhm.
right? And we've been imagining it when we get to that certain milestone, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, and it's here now. And to it's just that feeling of overwhelming joy and gratitude that you just can't help it but just express it in tears, right? And that's me. I'm, a lot of the people who knows me, you know, I just tear up every
Right.
time I feel something, and sometimes I'm happy. It doesn't mean I get teared up. I'm sad, but I'm also happy, and I'm just really happy for our team members, right? The mentors in the team, for the results that they're getting. We have been celebrating them, and we really appreciate the hard work that they do every
Mhm.
day. We watch them, we see everything that they do, and maybe not everything, maybe
Right.
there's more things that they're doing in the background that
Right.
we're not seeing, but because of the things that we're already seeing, and that's hard work already,
Right.
what more, right, of all the other things that they're doing behind the background. And we just really appreciate these people. They are professional people. They are passionate, committed, um, and you really can tell that they have a lot of experience that they will bring in
Right.
to the business,
Right.
right? Because you just see it. You just see that the things that the skills that they have, right? Like you just see it.
You know, a lot of these things, guys, especially for overcoming challenges, these are the people that you need on your side to overcome these challenges. And so, I'm gonna start by answering that it is not a question, but it's a statement on overcoming challenges. One of the ways and one of the secrets to overcome challenge is to do it together, right? Like Mel
Yes.
and I are doing this together.
Yeah.
I know some business owners, um, you know, some individuals that are starting this, their spouse might not be um,
Fully in.
fully in, right? Or
Or
not,
maybe they're
they're not
skeptical.
engaged or
Yeah.
skeptical, right?
Yeah.
So it's okay, right? Because time will come and God will do his thing, right? He works in mysterious ways,
Yeah.
and
And
he
that's
always
what
have.
happened to VJ, right?
That's exactly what happened to me, right? I was doing this alone, and I was doing it even barely alone, right? Like, I mean, I was doing my own thing. I wasn't even following the training because I was so impatient. I just wanted to prove myself and prove the system to Melissa that it actually works, and that this way is better than her way. Um, but like that's not really what how we got to this point. In
Mhm.
fact, that's just an introduction to her on
Yeah.
on the business. How we got to this point is we did it together, right?
Yes.
we
Yeah.
we we, we overcome these challenges of maybe we should quit, maybe we shouldn't do this anymore, maybe we should do a completely different thing, and and it's not working, and blah blah blah, and it's not fast enough, right? It's not that it's not working. I know that it's working. It's not fast enough for us,
Yeah.
right? It's not like we're not getting that much results, right? Partly because we are also not really engaged, right, properly, and we're not
Mhm.
following the system.
Yeah.
But when we did, though, when we did follow the system, look at how the results, it just pours down, and it's just funny how everything just ties up uh, into the system in a way that if you follow this, right, this is what you're gonna get. But everyone has different journey, everybody has different challenges, everybody has different understanding, different interpretation of things, and sometimes it can get into, you can lose translation. Meaning, other people might have this result by doing this particular system, others may not have this result, right? um, but at the end of the day, if you are consistent, if you are if you're doing it, then scientifically it would give you those results, right?
Yeah.
um,
Yeah. It comes with a lot of faith too, right? Like, um, of all the things that you do, the hard work that you do, in the back of your head that someday it will work, right? And
Someday could be that today,
yeah,
right?
it could be next week,
Could be
right? Like
next
it could
week.
be next month,
uh, could be it could be
next
just in
year.
around the
Like,
corner.
Yeah.
And just by saying that we did it together, right, is not
Yeah.
enough. We actually did it, or we overcome challenge
Yeah.
with our team, right, with a group of people.
Yeah.
I always when I say that, I always think of this commercial from a travel agency, that there's one crab that's walking on the beach,
Mhm.
and then for some reason, when the wave came on, he got washed away, right? But he went back up, and then he went with a group of crabs. There's like hundreds of them that are walking on the beach. And so when the wave came on, right, nobody got washed away, right? Because, um, and then at the end of the commercial, it says it's safer to travel in groups, right? So
Yeah.
they
Yeah.
are they're encouraging for people to travel in groups because it's absolutely safer, right?
Yeah.
And
And I love the quote that I read somewhere. I don't know, it's probably from you,
uh-huh.
but and you read it somewhere or you heard it from somewhere, and it says that nobody becomes successful by themselves, and it usually takes a whole team of people to make somebody a successful.
Yeah, to be successful, and that is true.
Yeah.
And if you ask me, how do you overcome challenges, I mean, I could tell you, ring the bell 3 times and jump up and down, and maybe lick your fingers once, and blow wind
Yeah.
to north, south, and east, west. you know uh I could tell you all of this
It's
different
yeah.
ritual to overcome challenges.
Yeah. What
Uh,
I've really learned is that service to people, right? Like, if you put other people first before you, that's when it all really goes big. Like, um,
and
I
we've
worded it,
observed that
yeah,
through the success of other people, right?
yeah. Like
And
I worded it differently in one of the chats that I've had this morning. When you put other people first, God takes care of you.
right,
Then God takes care of
then the rest,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that is true, because I was observing some of the live session of very successful um,
Mhm.
you know uh, business owners in this community. And the way they do their lives, really, they just talk to their team, and they really inspire them, and they have this
Yes.
conversation.
Yeah.
And I quickly realized that they're actually doing it not for themselves anymore,
Yeah.
but for
They're
their team
doing it for the
members, right?
team.
Because
Yeah.
if it's for themselves, and they've attained a level on which they can literally um,
Just stop working
stop working and still have
and
income,
still
right?
have that passive income.
And they can do that, right? And
Yeah.
yet
And
they
yet
they didn't
they
want to, because
continue.
they
Yeah.
know that a lot of people will still need them. They need them for inspiration.
Yeah.
And this is the type of work that you can't retire from. I mean,
Yeah.
like, people would say, and this is in the corporate world too, for you to work for 40 years, some of them 60 years, right? And then eventually retire when you're 60 or 65, right? And then leave Earth, right? But that's for some people, they continue working because they find passion, they find purpose in what they do. And a lot of these people, I find that they're the one that pulls people up, right? That serves people. And when you see that, it's kind of interesting, because I listened to Brian Tracy, for
Mhm.
example, to Bob Proctor,
Yeah.
and um, these are philosophers, right? Business philosophers. And when you look at them, they're really old. I mean, Bob Proctor passed away a few years ago, right?
Mhm.
But he was working up until he's in 90s,
90s.
right? Or late
90.
80s, I think.
Yeah.
The same thing
Almost
with
90.
what's his name, Brian Tracy, right?
Yeah.
He's still doing live sessions. He's still doing commercials, right? And seminars on their 80s, right?
Yeah.
And you would think, like, these people have made it financially, obviously, in their lives, and yet they still want to do what brings them joy, right? Because if they stop that, if they say, "Oh, I'm going to retire and stop what I'm doing," that's probably where they're going to actually get sick, and and their health deteriorates and all these things, right? Um, but what am I saying this? Like those things are also challenges, and when you involve people um, to bring with you, and not to bring your problems or to bring them into your problems, but more of really putting them first, right?
Yeah.
Trying to
Like
help them
trying to
first
find solution to
for
their
them, to
problems
their
first.
problems. And then what's going to happen, a magical thing that's going to happen, is that these individuals that you've helped, these individuals that you reach out to, you networked, right, will eventually help you propel, right? So that's happened to us, me and Mel, because we are in a point where, like, okay, we're not doing enough in the online business, and yet we have a growing team that's actually happening, and those team indirectly are responsible of why we're here today, right? In
Yes, yeah.
terms of of the
Yes, definitely. Because without the team, we would have um, quit a long time ago.
right, like we would have gave up,
Yeah, yeah. The team has really inspired
right?
us. W- when they continued on, we were watching them.
Yeah.
You know,
We without Mel joining me and being kind of full time with this too, um, have helped me overcome that challenge,
Mhm.
right? Of like dwindling away and
Yeah,
going somewhere else and looking at different options,
opportunities.
opportunities. But
Yeah,
because Mel stayed, right, and therefore she helped me overcome that particular
yeah.
challenge. I think,
And I really put a lot of credit to the team because um, yeah, they really helped me and inspired me, and you know,
to
it's
continue,
yeah.
right? And even so, like the results that we're having right now is incredible in a way that there's no way you're gonna stop, right? There's no way you can, abruptly leave the organization that you built, right? Uh, and it's funny because that's the same way on the traditional business as well, right? I'm looking at individuals. I work with closely with individuals that have built multi-million dollar companies, and if it's just money to them, they can just leave, right?
Mhm.
That's fine. But it's not. They think about, they have a bigger vision. Their understanding goes a lot deeper, right?
Yeah.
Their goals are not for their personal goals, but the goals of the organization, the goals of the people, right? And the sooner, I think, that as a business partner, the sooner that you realize that you serve people, right, um, and not your personal agenda,
Yeah.
right, the better your career is going to be, or the better your business is going to be. I mean, I've seen individuals that are startup, right, and yet when the service sucks, right, like, I mean, I'm sorry to use that language, but you know you would think that they are talented, but they will serve you in the worst possible way, right? And they will make you feel that you need them. They will make you feel that you're desperate for them, and they would make you feel that they are irreplaceable. They are replaceable, right?
Yeah.
Meaning,
Everything, I guess,
everything
is
is replaceable.
replaceable. Yeah.
And these startups, right, would think that they made it already, and therefore they can do whatever they want, right? And so, even going to a point where treating your own clients as a source of money, right, like a money machine, right, overcharging your clients, or demanding from your clients, even belittling your clients, right? So these are the things that I've seen in the past. These are the things that I've observed from people, and hopefully, right, these individuals will become successful in the future, and whatever they're building becomes successful as well, right? But at the end of the day, I com- I can't help but to compare people that are extremely successful, right, versus
Mhm.
people that are struggling and miserable at their businesses. People that are extremely successful really just they pour out their service out
Yeah.
there. They're selfless. They tell you all their secrets, right?
Yeah.
Um, in terms of building a business, obviously they're not gonna say that they have a dirty secret somewhere, but um, in terms of the tricks, in terms of the methods, right, that help them. Interestingly enough, when you talk to these individuals, highly successful individuals, they would love to actually sit down with you, have a coffee with you, and tell you all about the things that they've done in the past to that help them, to be in that situation, right? So yeah, overcoming challenges, guys, very very simple, but it's hard to do
Yeah.
because sometimes ego can get in the way, right? When you ask for help, when you
Yeah.
when you try to reach out to people, um, ego can get in the way,
Eagle?
right? Ego.
Oh, eagle. Okay. Okay, I was hearing eagle.
Ego? Okay.
Eagle.
Ego, ego,
Okay.
right? Ego can get in the way, right? And sometimes, when those political things happen within you, um, it's a recipe for disaster, right? So all of a sudden nobody would help you.
Yeah.
All of a sudden they close their doors. They didn't.
Prayer really helps, right?
Oh, absolutely. It's
Um,
big time.
prayer is just teaches you humility, right? Because acknowledging that there is a bigger being out there, maybe not a being, but God, right?
Mhm.
Like who is bigger than you and who can take away things that has given you, right? So
I think
prayer as well.
that is the
Prayer
word there
really.
is humility,
Yeah.
right? Because overcoming challenges acknowledges that when you try to overcome a challenge, it acknowledges your limitations.
Yeah.
And when you have your limitations, that means that you realize, right, that there's a higher power that could help you on this, right? Could be, you know, um, could be a person that has more experience than you. It could be a,
Yeah.
a system that's more sophisticated than your system, or it could be God Himself, right? That you look up to help you.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, when you know when you have this sort of humility, right, for some reason, like, people gets attracted to that, and they would pour out everything they possibly can to help you.
Yeah.
Happens all the time with highly successful individuals, right? I mean, they get attracted to leaders that show strength, but at the same time,
Or
humility,
humble.
are
Yeah.
humble, right? And I respect them even more. I really
Yeah.
do, right? Like, um, these people that I observe, they're incredibly down to earth, incredibly humble people, and sometimes I'm the one that's ashamed to approach them,
To be
right?
around
To
them.
be around them because of how
Because
humble they are, right? Um,
yeah.
but at the same time, I really wanted to study them. I really wanted to ask them questions, right?
Yeah.
Um, and they too have challenges, right?
Yes.
And all of us really have challenges in our lives, and it's really up to us on how we become stronger, right?
How we overcome
How we overcome
those
it.
challenges.
And like we said, overcoming challenges is quite simple, right? You have the people around you that can help you.
Yeah. Your
Number
team,
your
right?
team,
Yeah.
right? Your mentors,
Yeah.
your coaches,
Yeah.
your parents, right?
Yeah.
If they're still around, and people that that you can rely on in terms of wisdom, in terms of skills, in terms of knowledge, right?
Yeah.
Um, just quite recently, we had a trouble at work, and I've approached a person that I know that's going to help me, right? And lo and behold, he's there. He's there to actually help us professionally, right?
Yes.
Showed up,
Yeah.
burned the midnight oil in order to
Yeah.
do things, right? I mean, that's the kind of network that you really want to be around with,
Yeah.
because they will show up, right?
Yes.
And yet you have these individuals as well that you think will show up, and yet on the moment that you need them, they will make excuses, and they will say something like, "Oh, I didn't." Oh, okay, here you go. And these are individuals that you know that you think would come to rescue you, but um, they don't, and that's totally fine, right? Because there's some will, some
Some won't.
won't. So what? Somebody's waiting, right?
Yeah.
That's from Jack Canfield's Success Principle book. It's the SW method, right?
Yeah.
And it's just one way to overcome rejections, right, or disappointments, because that somebody will.
Yes.
So overcoming challenge, right? Like what Mel said,
Mhm.
a big portion of it, a big part of it is prayers, right? The closer I feel that a closer I get to my Lord, to God, will gives me that strength really to overcome challenges.
Yes.
And we're just human. Like, I mean, we do so many things, and our schedule is packed. I mean, I was telling my associate the other day. I said, I'm booked the entire May, June, July, August, September. All my weekends are gone. The
Yeah.
next opening that I will probably have will probably in October, and that's where I can actually have um, open weekends, right?
Yeah.
October, November, December. But the summer is gone, right? The summer is pretty much done. It's for family, it's for events, it's for things that are really important that we celebrate during the summer, right? So, um, what else you want to add? There's so many
Well, that's
value
everything.
bonds, and we really wanted to bring value to you right on this live session. And if you want to join a community of like-minded individuals, people that are like what I told you, very highly successful, and that if you want to be coached by them, if you want to be mentored by them, there's hundreds of them in our community, right?
Yeah.
Thousands even. And our community right now is growing, right? We have over 200,000 people
Yes.
um, in this community. And tomorrow, right, we'd like to invite you to watch the webinar, right? And we're going to be there as panelists.
Yes.
And we're so excited. I'm so thrilled, right? It's long overdue,
Yeah.
long overdue to be in that
Yeah.
webinar panelist. And we're gonna be there, right? We're gonna share a little bit of our story to over, you know, uh, thousands of people, right?
Yeah.
That's gonna watch this. Could be in live or it could be in
Yeah.
recorded version of it, right? So again, guys, thanks a lot for watching this. If you wanted to start your online journey, your earning online and things like that, legitimately, right, ethically and legitimately, reach
Yeah.
out to us. Check us out at legionmelissa.com, or
Or just reach out to us.
reach out to us, right?
Yeah.
Send us a message. If you have been inquiring already and you're just looking around and wanting to know more about it, right? Go watch those past webinars, or not webinars, but live sessions that we've done.
Yeah.
We've also given you a lot of different values there of how we operate our business. A lot of these 90-day challenge topics that we have, I find that they're very fun. They're fundamental topics to talk about as a business owner, right, or a startup. I think that that the value that we've given here during the 36 days of live session, um, are raw, unedited,
Yeah.
unscripted value, right, or information.
Yeah.
And there's really no script around us. There's no piece of paper that we read. There's no, there's
Yeah.
no
There's a topic that
there's a
we
topic,
have.
yeah.
Yeah.
There's no bullet points. There's nothing, right?
Yeah.
All
Just literally brainstorming. Just
literally brainstorming is just coming out of
yeah.
here, right?
And here.
And here to you, right?
Yeah.
Um, and I think these are guided by the Holy Spirit as well, right? By God,
Mhm.
uh, because we couldn't do all of these things without Him, right?
Mhm.
Mel was crying this morning because he was
Yeah.
overwhelmed with the love that he received, grateful by the blessings that we received from God. And I'm the same way, right? I'm the same way in terms of how we are so thankful for God to do this for us, right?
Yeah.
Um, and for us to be able to experience this, right? And I know a lot of the people that that's looking into this are thinking, what is it really? Is it really possible, right, to do that? If you're researching already, you probably watched some of the webinars. Is it really true, right? Yes, it is, right? So
Yeah.
come check us
Yeah,
out.
you can check it out.
You can do it, right? If we can do it, you can
Yeah.
absolutely do it, right?
Yeah, you can join the community. There is just that small fee that you just need to pay.
And it's even refundable. It's
and
like
it's refundable for the whole
well,
within 30 days.
within 30 days, it's refundable. I mean, you
Yeah.
check it out, you're like, okay, this is not for me.
Yeah, you
Right.
get to see the companies that we work with. You get to see all the community. You get to see testimonials, how successful
You get to
they
see
have
the
been.
actual method, you
Yeah.
guys. I mean, I can say that right now, but how's that gonna help you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, the only way is for you to reach out to us so that we can give you that next step.
The next step, right? And go get it for yourself, right? You
Yeah.
deserve that. You deserve
You
to get
deserve
it.
information.
You deserve information. You deserve to get it for yourself.
Yes, so
You
that you
deserve
can
to take action.
decide, right, and make that informed decision.
That's right. Informed decision, right? We can be as um, transparent as we possibly could, right? But at the same
Yeah.
time, we also wanted to establish this accountability between you and yourself, I guess, and your decision, right? To go through this process, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because, like what I said, it's a life-changing decision for many people,
Yeah.
right? It's not taken lightly, and when they do the training and when they do all of these things, right?
Yeah.
It
Once
is,
they see it, they just go ahead.
yeah, they
and-
can't unsee it. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, and so you're like, okay, I wonder if I do all of these things that the training is telling me, I wonder if I can also be there, right? Of course you will. Of course you can be there, right?
Yes.
Of course
Might
you
take
will
some
also. It may
time,
take some
but,
time.
yeah.
Some doesn't even take
Some
that
doesn't
much
take
time, right? We have some highly successful individuals that join our team, and they're super fast, like super fast.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine how. I can
Yeah.
only imagine how fast they are because obviously, they progress really quick, right?
Yeah, we just
Um,
had a mentor yesterday who just submitted a set of paperworks, the business
Yeah.
partners
Contracts,
contracts, right? Yesterday, and today they got their ID, and then their training is unlocked, and they have a full Facebook page that is packed with content
Right.
and value already, and it's just going
Just
so
like
fast.
that, yeah. So
Yeah.
we're so proud of them. We have no doubt that they're going to be successful on this because they're doing the right things, right?
Yeah.
So thanks a lot, guys, for watching. Good night, right?
Yes.
Good morning, wherever you are. Good afternoon. And if you're catching us on the recorded version, right? Don't forget to comment where you're watching from,
Yeah.
or just reach out to us. Say hi. All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Yeah.
Take care.
Have a good night.
Have a good night. God bless.